The funeral is over, the guests have traveled home, and the massive canopies that held hundreds of people finally come down. Losing someone is deeply painful everywhere, but in Ghana, the experience is anchored by vivid communal rituals. When that public spectacle ends, the long tale of mourning is just beginning. Take a family like the Mensahs. As their house becomes quiet, the adults return to work and the children go back to school. They have to resume their daily lives while navigating a new, heavy silence. This long tale is defined by ordinary moments: the empty chair at the table, a familiar song on the radio, or a gathering missing their voice. Managing the quiet weeks and months after burial requires a different set of tools than the ones used to plan the funeral itself. Within a single household, adults often process loss in very different ways. Uncle Kwame might focus entirely on settling accounts and funeral responsibilities, while Auntie Abena needs to talk and cry openly. These differences don't indicate who loved the deceased more. Families should avoid telling one another to be strong or move on, as every person requires a different pace. Support is most effective when it is practical. Instead of asking what to do, family members can simply bring food, help with childcare, or handle specific household chores that have become difficult to manage. This graph shows community presence dropping steeply after the burial. To bridge this gap, schedule proactive check-ins at 1, 3, and 6 months. The 6-month and 1-year marks are extremely vulnerable periods when initial support fades and the weight of absence peaks. Effective support must be scheduled and proactive. A short phone call or a shared meal during these quieter periods ensures the bereaved don't have to navigate their hardest days alone. Children experience grief differently. Little Kwame Jr. might be playing happily one moment, then suddenly become unusually quiet, angry, or complain of a stomachache the next. This chart visualizes why those mood shifts happen. While adult grief often feels like a sustained plateau, child grief moves in short, sharp, oscillating spikes. Children can only manage heavy emotions for short periods before they need to move back into play. Using phrases like "Grandma has gone to sleep" or "Daddy has traveled" can be dangerous. A child may then become afraid of sleeping or spend months expecting the person to return home. Adults should use clear, honest language. Gently explain that the person has died and that their body no longer works. Then immediately reassure the child about who will take them to school and who will continue to look after them. A child's sense of security is rebuilt through this honesty and the maintenance of familiar routines, like regular mealtimes and school attendance. While grief is a natural response to loss, there is a point where mourning transitions into severe distress that requires outside help. Red flags include a complete refusal to attend school, a sharp decline in performance, or an adult misusing alcohol. Contacting a professional counselor or the Ghana Mental Health Authority is a proactive step for the family. It is an act of care, not a failure of faith or strength. The family is the first line of defense, but professional reinforcement provides the necessary support when the emotional burden becomes too heavy to carry within the home. Families can actively manage the months after a loss by creating a basic support plan together. This involves assigning specific adults to look after each child, informing the school of the situation, and recording important anniversaries that will require extra family check-ins. Giving grief a structured place to rest, whether through a dedicated family meeting or a shared activity, helps integrate the loss into daily life without letting it overwhelm every moment. These clear roles ensure that as the public mourning ends, no family member is left to navigate the long tail of grief in isolation. Digital tools like the Ghana Memorial can help unify relatives across the diaspora, providing one shared space for photographs, voice recordings, and family history. Children can participate in remembrance at their own pace, perhaps by drawing a picture for a memory box or choosing a favorite song to play on a special date. The sharpness of grief will lessen over time, but major milestones like graduations or births will naturally bring these memories back to the surface. Funerals mark a moment of farewell, but planned remembrance ensures that while grief changes, the connection to the loved one remains a permanent part of the family ecosystem.